Hello and welcome to Euclid Academy. Today we're going to solve the 2021 Mathematics Paper 1, that is for the General Certificate of Education or GCE. So I'm not going to read out the instructions to you, but I will just say this, that electronic calculators and mathematical tables are not allowed in this paper. So having said that, let us get into solving the questions. And we begin with question 1. We say simplify 2ab minus ab squared minus 7ab plus a squared b plus 5ab squared. So basically this is algebra and we're looking for the terms that are the same or they are like. So we're going to put the like terms together before we carry out any operation. So what we mean by like terms together, we're saying the terms that have the same letters and probably. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to get 2 a, b, then I'm going to look for another term which has got a, b. So we have got ab squared, so no, so negative 7ab. So we're going to say negative 7ab, and then I'm going to get also, I'll say negative ab squared, negative ab squared. I'm going to look for another ab squared in these terms. So we've got plus 5ab squared, so plus 5ab squared. So the term that is remaining now is the term a squared plus b. So we'll just add plus a squared plus b. That is the final term there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to carry out the operations. So we've got the normal mathematical operations, that is 2ab minus 7ab. So according to the operation of integers, we think of board mass or bit mass. Or in this case, what we're looking at is simply just subtraction. 2ab minus 7ab, but with these are integers. So 2ab minus 7ab, you're going to get negative 5ab, because you get the sign from the bigger number. So a negative and a positive, you subtract, then you get the sign from the bigger number. Then you've got negative ab squared plus 5ab squared. Again, a negative and a positive. What you do, you subtract and get the sign from the bigger number. So this will be plus 4ab squared. And then finally we remain with the last term there, which is plus a squared b. And then we can carry out any further operations here because these terms are totally different or totally unlike. So therefore we can carry out any operations here. So but is there anything else we can do? Yes, we can do factorization, which is simply means we can factor out what is common in this term and in all the terms. So what is common? So we can say a here, we can see a here, and a here, and a there. So basically, if you can see, we have got ab being common in all the terms. So we've got ab here, and ab here, and ab there. So therefore we can carry out factorization. We can factor out ab. So we can put a and b as ab out. Then we open the bracket and then we say negative 5. Okay, since we factor out ab, we just remove negative 5 here. Then we say plus 4. When we factor out ab, we just remain with 4b plus, here we got a squared b, so meaning we cancel one a and cancel the b, and then we remain with just one a here, and then we close. So this will be our final answer, which is ab open bracket negative 5 plus 4b plus a close bracket, and this is what we put here. This will be our final answer for the 2 marks. Let's jump to the next question. Question 2 says 9 to the power half, or 1 over 2 plus 1. So basically what we're saying here is that we have to find the square root of 9, then to that you add 1. So these are exponents. So when you talk about exponents, we have got what we call a base, and we have got the exponent or the index, which is the smaller number on top there, the top right of the number. So when we have 1 over 2, what basically means is that we have to find the root of the base. That is, when we have an index which is a fraction, means you have to find the root of the base. And if it is 1 over 2, it means you have to find the square root of 9. So we have to find the square root of 9. Then to that square root, we add 1. If it was 1 over 3, that means we have to find the cube root of 9. So what does it mean? We say the cube root is a number where you multiply by itself 3 times, you give you 9. If it is the square root, it's a number that when you multiply by itself, it should give you 9, or when you multiply it twice, it should give you 9. So what number when you multiply by itself gives you 9, and then to that number you add 1. So the square root of 9 is 3. To that you're going to add 1, and then the answer is going to be 4. Let's jump to the next one. Solve the equation x squared minus 2x is equal to 0. So with this one here, we are dealing with quadratic expressions or quadratic equations. So this is a quadratic equation, which is x squared minus 2x is equal to 0. So when it comes to quadratic equations, we know there are several methods we can use to solve a quadratic expression or a quadratic equation. You can use the formula, factorization method, or you can use by completing the square. So in this expression, the very best way to do is factorization. So we're going to factor things out. So what we're basically going to do is we'll just factor out an x here. So put x outside, then open the bracket. So we say x minus 2 is equal to 0. So what basically this means that when you multiply x, you multiply it with this right here, you get a 0. So which basically means that you're going to separate them. You say x is either equal to 0 or x minus 2 is equal to 0, which is basically this expression is equal to 0 and x also is equal to 0. So if x minus 2 is equal to 0, what is x equal to? So it means x is equal to, so we can subtract 2 from both sides, or simply say we make 2 jump to the other side, which basically makes it a positive 2. So x is either equal to 0 or positive 2. So if you want to be sure, you can replace 0 here where there's x, you can substitute and then you get a 0, or you can say x squared, 2 squared, that gives you 4 minus 2 times 2, that is 4, and you get 0. So basically your answers here were x is equal to 0 or x is equal to positive 2. Question 4 says, using set notation, describe the shaded region in the diagram below. So we've got A, B, and C as our sets, and then we want to describe this shaded region in the diagram below. Okay, so the best way here is to kind of divide these sets in what we have here. So we can see that A and B, this is basically a union of 2 sets. So we can say A union B. So we can just put it as 1 here. So basically this is what we have. And C, we can basically see that we went outside what is outside C. So which basically means that we were looking at C complement. So a C complement, what simply means is that do not include C, or you remove whatever is inside C. We don't want it, we only want what is outside C. That is what a C complement means. So now we've got 2 parts. We've got A union B, which is basically the 2 sets combined together, which including this part here. But again, we've got C complement, which is whatever is outside C. And then we find we can basically say, so I'm gonna just try to shade a little bit here. So what we have, C complement is whatever is in yellow right here, whatever is outside C, which is whatever is in yellow, is C complement. So this is C complement might go a little bit outside of the Venn diagram, but anyway, that is fine. So this is C complement, that is in yellow. And then we have A union B, which is whatever is in, I might go for red. So this is A union B. So including this part here is A union B. This is A union B. So now what you want is the intersection of the yellow and the red. So the intersection of the yellow and the red, it is this what we have right here. So it is the shaded area in black. So we have A union B intersect C complement, and this is our answer. This is what you put right here for the 2 marks. So the answer was A union B on brackets, then intersect C complement. Now we have factorized completely to x squared minus x minus 6, that is for question 5. So this is a quadratic expression, and for a quadratic expression we know that it will have some ax squared, then plus or minus bx, then minus some or plus some constant. So this a here represents, let's say this is a b, this is an a, then we say this is a b, and then we have a c there. So we have what we call a product, which is when you multiply the constant, the last number there, with the coefficient of x squared, which simply means this value there in front of x squared. When you multiply them together, which is 2 times negative 6, you get a negative 12, right? So this number will be called the product, and then in the middle we have got, this is a b, which we will say, we'll call it a sum. We'll just pick it, which is a negative 1. The coefficient of x is a negative 1, so that is a negative 1 there. And then basically what we do is we ask ourselves a simple question, which says, okay, what number, 2 numbers, when we multiply them together, they give us negative 12, but when we add them together, they give us negative 4, and then we use those numbers to simplify this, or to factorize this quadratic expression. So those 2 numbers, basically you can try 2 and 6. So 2 and 6, when you add them together, they can't give you negative 6, negative 1, but they can give you positive 12. So basically, to get into it quickly, we can say this is negative 4 times positive 3, you get negative 12 as your answer. And then when you say negative 4 plus 3 plus a 3 plus a 3, you get negative 1 as your answer. So basically we can see that 4 and 3 help us here. So we're going to restructure this by using negative 4 and 3, and then which basically will mean to be 2x squared. So we're going to restructure negative x here to, in terms, we're going to write it in terms of negative 4 and 3. So we're going to say this is negative 4x. If we add positive 3x, this will give us negative x. Since it's the same thing, we haven't changed anything. So then we're going to bring negative 6 there, and then we're going to say, we put the brackets there, we're going to add brackets, and then we are going to factorize each expression that we have right here, that we've put in brackets like this. So we're going to start with this one. So this might tend to confuse some people, so I'll go through it once again. So here we've got 2x minus x minus 6. So now when you want to find this expression, you want to factorize expression, you need to find 2 numbers such that when you multiply this constant times the coefficient of x squared, gives you 12, and then the coefficient of x there, which is negative 1. So you need to find 2 numbers that when you multiply them together, they give you this value, and when you add them together, they give you this value. And those 2 numbers are 4 and 3, because when you multiply negative 4 and 3, but when you multiply these 2, they give you negative 12, and when you add these 2, they give you negative 1. So we're going to restructure this number in the middle there, we're going to change it to write it in terms of these two. Instead of just writing negative x, we're going to write negative 4x plus 3x, which is basically the same thing. So we've got negative 4x here plus 3x, and then we say a minus 6. And then when we have 4 terms in this expression, we are going to group these terms as in 2 terms per group. Then we're going to factorize each group. So let us factorize group number 1. We're going to, so here I've got 2x squared minus 4x. So what can we factor out here? So we see 2 is common here because we've got a 2 here and a 4 here, and 2 can go into 4. And then x is also common. We've got x squared and we've got an x there. So we're going to say 2x outside, and then we're going to put, when we say 2x out, so here we've got 2x squared, so we remain with an x right here, plus, and then negative, not plus, beg your pardon, that is minus 4x, that is we're going to remain with a 2 right here, because negative 4x, when you divide it by 2x, is a 2, right? And then we say plus, now we factor out here, we've got the 3x minus 6, so we're going to factor out a 3. It is common here and it is common there, because 3 can go into 3, 3 can go into 6. So we put it out here and we close. And then we say 3 into 3x, we just have an x, minus 3 into 6 is 2. So now we have got this expression where we've got the x minus 2 being common in all these expressions. So what we can simply do, we get rid of 1 and then we collect the remaining values as a single group. So we have x minus 2, and then we also have 2x as another term, plus 3 plus 3. So basically this means you have factorized the expression, and this is the answer that you put here. So factorizing 2x minus x minus 6, 2x squared minus x minus 6 is x minus 2 in brackets. Then you open the bracket, you write 2x plus 3, you close the bracket. So this is your answer. 6. At the end of the financial year, a public limited company declared a dividend. An investor with 1,500 shares in the company received 750 kwacha. What was the dividend per share? So dividend is basically profit which is paid out to investors for owning shares in the company. So dividend per share, which is like a profit they receive, basically we are saying it will be the total income, the income received. Then we're going to divide by the number of shares that the investor owns in that company, the number of shares. So basically this simply means that we have got 750 kwacha which was paid out, divided by 1,500 shares that the owner has. So how much per share was this? Basically, simply, since we don't have a calculator, we can just try to do the old school mathematics. We can cancel the 0, then we'll 75 over 150. So if we say, okay, we're not really sure how we do this, so we can say 5 into 7, we have 1, remainder 1, 5 into 15, we have that is basically 15. And then we have 5 into 15, that's 3, so we have 30. So you can say here 15, there's 1, 15 into 30 is 2. So to simplify things, because you don't have a calculator, so it's 1 over 2, or basically which can be 0.5 kwacha. So that is how much each share is worth. That was the dividend per share was 0.5 kwacha or 15 gwei. 0.5 kwacha, or we can say 15 gwei. Given that 9, 15, 21, 27 is an arithmetic progression, find the 12th term. So when it comes to an arithmetic progression, we know that we use the formula Tn is equals to a plus open bracket n minus 1 close the bracket, and then we're going to multiply this by d. So what basically all these letters mean, and if you haven't done arithmetic progression before, we have done this in class, that is from our online tuitions, if you are part of online tuitions, and we know what A means and N and what D means. So A, basically we're talking about the first term of this progression, which is 9, and D stands for the common difference. So this is where we do a little bit of work. So for the common difference, we have to find the so basically this means that we have to getting the common difference is the number that each term is being increased or reduced by. So we can say it could be a positive increment or a negative increment. So from 9 to 15 to 21 to 27, you can see that there is an increment which is a positive increment. So from 9 to 15, 15 to 21, so what number is that? So 9, you can count 1, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, so that will be 6. Or the other way is you can just subtract the preceding term, which is the term which is in front, minus it's the term which is behind. From 15, let's say 15, the behind value is 9, the term, so we say minus 9, so D is equals to 6, which is a common difference. Or if you want, you can say 27 minus 21, that is also 6. So we have A is equals to 9 and D is equals to 6. So what is N? So N is the term that we want, and we want the 12th term according to the question. So now we can use our formula. So we can see the 12th term is equal to the first term, which is 9, plus 12, N stands for 12, remember, minus 1 multiplied by D, which is 6. And then this basically will be 9 plus 12 minus 1, that is 11. 11 times 6, that is 66. And then we have 9 plus 66, which will give us 75. So the 12th term is 75. So that is for A. Is find the formula for the nth term. So according to this progression, the formula for the nth term, it should include A for 9 and D for 6. Okay, then N is nth because we don't know that term, so it's the nth term. I'm going to put it here. I'll say A is 9, then D is 6, and then we have N for nth because we don't know, so it's the nth term, or we just put n. I might just say n is for n. We have the nth term is equals to 9 plus, and we just say this n minus 1 multiplied by D is 6. So we can go ahead and simplify this, and then we can say 9 plus 6n minus 6, and then we can put the like terms together. 9 minus 6, that gives us 3 plus 6n. So this is the nth term. This is the formula for the nth term according to this arithmetic progression. So if you want to find the nth term, you just use 3 plus 6n and you get the nth term. So now we have question 8. Given that A is equal to 1, negative 3, 5, 2, 1, 0, find the transpose of A. So when it comes to matrices, we're talking about things which are arranged in rows and columns, and when we have what we call a transpose of a matrix, simply means we interchange them. So these are called columns. One runs from up to down or top to bottom, and then these are called rows, the ones which are horizontal or run from left to right. So this is a row, and then this is a column. So if you want a lesson on more help on matrices, we have tuitions for you. You can call the number on the screen or message the number on your screen on WhatsApp, and we'll be in touch to give you all the information on how you can join the online tuitions or online lessons, and we can be helping you day in day out or weekly. So that is what we have when we talk about matrices. We have a column and we have a row. So we can interchange these to form a transpose. So what we're going to do in this matrix here, you can see we've got 2 rows, 1, 2, and we have got 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. So we can interchange the 2 rows to become columns and the 3 columns to become rows. So the transpose of A, denoted by AT, is going to be the matrix where now we have 1, row number 1 becomes column number 1, and then row number 2 becomes column number 2, which is 2, 1, 0, and then we close it like that. So this is the transpose of the matrix A. So we now have 1, 2 columns and 1, 2, 3 rows. And then next we're going to talk about matrix multiplication. Again, in matrix multiplication, I think we've got a nice lesson on online tuitions. When you join, definitely we have a lesson where we just go through the multiplication of matrices. So you have to multiply the matrix P and the matrix Q here. So matrix multiplication basically is kind of simple and a bit confusing at the same time. But all you have to know that you're going a row by a column. You're multiplying a row by a column. I'm going to say PQ, which is the matrix P times the matrix Q, and then what we're going to do is we're going to write our matrices in as this is the matrix that we have, and that is the matrix P, and then we're going to multiply this matrix with the matrix Q, and then when we multiply this, we are going to have an answer matrix which is going to have 2 entries. That is the answer A here and the answer B here. That is what we're going to use when it comes to matrices is that we multiply the row times the column to give us an entry or an answer there. So this row times this column to give us an answer in the answer matrix there. So let's do it. So we're going to just write the column. So say 2, this 2 times this negative 2 right there, 2, and then we're going to add this negative 1 times the positive 3 right there to get the answer for the first column, which is right here. And then next we're going to say this 3 times the negative 2 on top, negative 2 on top there, and then we're going to add the 4 times the 3, and then these will give us the answer matrix, which is what we want, and we're going to have 2 entries in the answer matrix, which is the one on top and the one down, because we just have to work out the answer here and the answer down here. So for this one, we're going to say is equal to, and then we'll put our answers right there, and then we'll say negative 2. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, plus negative 1 times 3 is negative 3, so which is negative 4, negative 3, and then this gives us negative 7 right here. And then we have 3 times 2, which gives us negative 6, plus 4 times 3, which gives us 12. So here we have negative 6 plus 12, and the answer is positive 6, because you subtract and get the sign from the bigger number. So the multiplication matrix is negative 7 and 6. A letter is chosen at random from the letters of the word hello. What is the probability that it is the letter L? Okay, so when you talk about probability, we're talking about probability of a certain event happening. Let's say picking L is equals to the total number, the number of possible or desired outcomes. Let's say the outcomes. Then we divide those outcomes by the total number of outcomes, possible outcomes. So when we talk about probability, we're talking about the likelihood or the certainty of an event occurring or happening. So we have this word hello, and a letter is chosen random from the letters of the word hello, and the possible outcomes that we want, the event is that we pick an L. And what we do is that we look at the word hello and then we say, okay, how many L's are in there? We have 2. So when we divide those by the total number of letters in this word, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5. So the possibility of you picking an L is 2 over 5. And basically this is the answer for part 1. So this is 2 over 5, which comes here. B, solve the equation 125 to the power x is equals to 1 over 25. So again, this is on exponents or indices. For us to be able to solve this problem, we need to know the laws of indices or the exponential laws. So here what we have 125 to the power x is equals to 1 over 25. Now when you have this question, first of all you need to equate this right hand side, or to make it look the same way as the left hand side. So 1 over 25 can also be written as 25 to the power negative 1. 25 to the power negative 1. So at least so that we just have things in one line like this. So can we also write 125 some exponential form? So what we have to do now is to write these numbers in some exponential form such that they have the same base. Left hand side has the same base as the right hand side. So 125 can also be written as 5 to the power 3. And then again, remember we have an x right there. So simply we can just multiply this new 3 with the x, need to be 5 to the power 3x. So we just say 5 to the power 3x is equal to 25 can also be written as 5 squared, because 5 times 5 is 25. Then we say 2 times this value on top there, which is negative 1, and it becomes negative 2. Again, so what we do is that we write the left hand side to have the same base as the right hand side, and the likely same base is a 5. So we can write 125 in form of the base 5, which is 5 to the power 3. It gives you 125. So this 3 you multiply with the value which is there, the exponent, and becomes 3x. And again for 5 here, we multiply with negative 2. Well, we write it at 5 times the power 2, and then we multiply 2 times the power negative 1, and it will be 5 to the power negative 2. So if we have 5 here and we have 5 there, it's more like they're the same. So basically we're not going really, so this equal sign means that these two sides are the same. We're not really going to divide, so we'll just get these the way they are. So we'll say 3x should therefore be equal to negative 2, since they give us the same answer, as this equal sign is telling us that the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So which means x can be divided both sides, which is equal to negative 2 over 3, as 3 is divided by both sides here. So here x is equals to negative 2 over 3, and that will be the answer that we put on B. And then we have given that A, the set A, is a set of x's such that x is less than 6 and x is a natural number. List the members of the set A. So this is a set builder notation, and you have to know how to read a set builder notation, and basically this is like grade 8, grade 9 work. So given that A is a set such that is a set of x's such that x is less than 6, x is a natural number. So therefore you have to know a natural number. What is a natural number? And therefore we're looking for natural numbers which are less than 6. So what is a natural number? The natural number, these are basically just counting numbers, and they do not include the number 0. So basically when you say let's count, you start from 1, you don't start from 0. So 1, 2, 3 up to wherever you can count, those are called natural numbers. So if we want to list the set A, which is a set of natural numbers less than 6, that will be very easy, it's a fairly simple one. So we just say the set A is a set of has the members 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it, because they are less than 6. So this is the members for set A. Let's go to B. The diagram below shows a sector x or y, the arc xy subtends an angle of theta at the center 0, and the radius of the sector is 6 centimeters. Given that the area of the sector is 33 centimeters, find the value of the arc. Pi is taken to be 22/7. So for you to solve this question, you need to know the formula on how to find the area of a sector. So the area of a sector, the formula of area of a sector is area is equals to theta over 360 degrees times pi r squared or radius squared. So this is the area of the sector. So now we want to find what theta is. What is theta, given that we've been provided the area as 33 centimeters? So basically what we're saying is theta over 360 times the pi being 22/7 times the radius being 6 squared. Okay, the radius being 6, then we square it, so that is what we have, and then all of this gives us 33. We have 33 there. So what do we get? So here we can calculate this, and then we say, I'll come right here, I'll say theta over 360 times 22. So just say 22 times, if we say, I'll basically just say 22 times 6 squared. Now 6 squared is 36, so it'll be 36 times 22. Or basically, to make the calculations easier, we can look at what is down here. We have 360 and we have 6 times 6 gives us 36. So we can just say, okay, so this is 36 times 22/7 is equals to 33. We have 33 there. Then what we do is that we can just cancel this 36 here with that one there. So here we have 1. So I'll just bring it here on top, and then we say theta over 10. Since we said 36 there is 1, 36 there is 10. Multiply by 22/7, and this is equal to 33. And then we can multiply here. We have 22 theta over 7 times 10 gives us 70 is equals to 33. So right here we can already see that we just have one expression which we can just multiply by, we can cross multiply here, and I'm going to get rid of, or we can use right here. So we cross multiply, and then we have 22 theta times 1 gives us 22 theta is equals to 33 times 70. So we can say, I can say you can add a 0 there, giving you 330. Then 330 times 7, you get 2310. So this is 2310 or 2310, whatever we call it. Then you divide by 22 and then divide this side by 22. So theta is equal to 22 there, cancel, then 22 into 2310, and that is 105. So which means the value of theta so as we multiply 70 by 33, we get 2310, and then we divide by 22 and we divide this side by 22 and we cancel there, and that means theta is equal to 2310 divided by 22, the answer is 105. So theta is equals to 105 degrees if you want, because it's an angle, so it's 105 degrees. That is the value for theta. Diagram below shows the positions of towns A, B, and C on the Earth's surface. NAC is the prime meridian. So a ship takes 26 hours, this is for A, to travel from B to C, a distance of 1,460 nautical miles. Find the speed of the ship in knots. So what we have right here is this Earth geometry. And of course, if you want further help and further information, we have got tuitions available for all of this. So we'll make you go through and we'll help you to grasp such concepts. So a ship takes 26 hours to travel from B to C, a distance of 1560 nautical miles. Find the speed of the ship in knots. So we just mentioned that when we talk about Earth geometry, we've got what we call the small circles and great circles. So the great circles are those which have got the center of the sphere or the center of the Earth. So these NACS is a great circle. This an arc, the prime meridian, is a great circle, and then these BC going around, this is a small circle. But therefore, how does this help us? So we've got B to C. Basically, first of all, we're talking about finding the speed of the ship in knots. What is speed? Speed is the rate of change of distance with time. In short, speed is equal to distance divided by time. So this question is particularly easy because you already have the distance, which is this distance. It is 1560 nautical miles, and the time it takes is 26 hours. So 26 hours. So all you have to do is divide to get the speed. So 1560 divided by 26. So we've got the distance in nautical miles or nm and the speed in hours. So the final answer will be nautical miles per hour. And when we divide 1560 by 26, we get 60 nautical miles per hour. Now there's a special name for nautical miles per hour. If the distance is in nautical miles and the time is in hours, we call it knots. So that's the speed, KNOTS, knots. So this was the speed of the ship. And then we've got question B. If the local time at A is 10:30 hours, find the local time at B. Okay, so we have got town A or point A there, and the local time is 10:30 hours, and then the local time at find the local time at B. Where is B? So you have B there, and B is so we can see that A is 60 degrees north of the equator, and we have got B is 30 degrees west of the equator, or west of the prime meridian. So when it comes to calculation of time, use this simple idea that 1 hour or concept or fact is equals to 15 degrees, and 1 minute is equal to, I beg your pardon, it's 4 minutes. 4 minutes is equals to 1 degree. So this is what we have. So time is measured on a difference in longitude, which are the lines which run from north to south or south north, and this difference is how we calculate the time based on the difference in longitude. And towns or places which are on the same line of longitude have got the same time, and towns which are located on the prime meridian or meridian, which means they've got the same time. So 15 degrees to the west of the Greenwich meridian, it means that we are subtracting 1 hour. 15 degrees to the east of the meridian, we are adding 1 hour, and 15 degrees to the west, we are subtracting 1 hour. 1 degree further, we are subtracting 4 minutes, and 1 degree further to the east, we are adding 4 minutes. Now we can see that on B, we are 30 degrees to the west, okay, of the meridian. So which means that we have to subtract how many? So we can say 30 degrees when you divide by 15 degrees, so that means it is 2 hours. So we are 2 hours to the left of, we're subtracting 2 hours from the time at A because we're going to the west. So if it is 30 hours at A, because the time now we are moving to the west, which is where B is, so that means that we are subtracting 2 hours from 10 hours, and the time is going to be 8:30 hours at the time that is at B. So B will be 8:30 hours because we are subtracting 2 hours. Okay. The mass of a bag of maize is 62 kg to the nearest kilogram. Complete the statement in the answer space. Okay, so the mass of a bag of maize is 62 kilograms to the nearest kilogram. Complete the statement in the answer below. So if we say it is 62 to the nearest, we're probably talking about it wasn't exactly 62 kilograms. It could have been 62.5, 62.7, 62.8, 62.99999, 62.87, something like that. So we just went to the nearest kilogram, which is probably 62. So basically, we are saying we are between 61 and probably we are in 62.5. So what we're saying is it could be 60, anything which is 61.1, the nearest is 61. Okay, so if we say 61.2, the nearest is 61. If we say 61.4, the nearest is 61. So if we say 61.5, the nearest is 62. Okay, so from here, everything the nearest is 62. If we go to 62.1 again, so 62.5, also the nearest is 63. So if we are less than 62.5 but equal to or greater than 65.1, that means the nearest we can go is 62. So here we have 61.5 should be less than or equal to 62 point, should be less than, not equal to, less than 62.5. So this is where the mass should be for us to have 62 as the nearest kilogram. Because if you say 62.5 exactly, if it's equal to 62.5, then the nearest becomes 63. So now we are just on 62.5, assuming that we are less than 62.5, but we are greater than 61 or equal to 61.5. So that is the range here. A woman estimates that the weight of her dog to be 13.15 kilograms. The actual weight of the dog is 10. Find the percentage error. So percentage error is simply equals to the estimated value. She estimated her value to be 13.15. The value for the dog, though. Then we subtract the actual, which was 10. Then we divide everything by the actual again, which was 10. Then we multiply by, it's a percentage, so guess what? 100. And then, of course, this has to be a percent. So we say 13.15 minus 10 kilograms. So we have a 3.15 divided by 10 multiplied by 100%. What do we get? We can cancel 10 here and 10 there, and what we have there is a 10. Then say 10 times 3.15, and what we get here is 31.15%. So this was the percentage error. So this is what we put here. That was the answer. In the diagram below, A, B, C, and D are points on the circumference of a circle. Center O, DAB is equal to 36 degrees, BC is equal to CD, and EBF is a tangent to the circle at B. So I should have advised you earlier that probably you shouldn't just be watching through the way we are solving. I would advise you to pause the video, try the question on your own, attempt it, then see the answer you get, and let's compare with the answer we get. That would be more an ideal way of doing these questions together rather than just watching through. So you can pause the video, attempt the question, and then try to play the after you find your answer, play the video, then we do it together. That'll be more helpful to you, and it will be much more rewarding. So in the diagram below, A, B, C, and D are points on the circumference of a circle. So we have A, B, C, D. Center O, DAB is equal to 36 degrees, which is DAB 36. You can see it right there. BC is equal to CD, which is BC is equal to CD, and EBF is a tangent to the circle at B. So we can see the EBF is a tangent, and it just touches the circle at the particular point there, B. Okay, so now find BOD. So which is BOD. Now we have particularly a great lessons on circle geometry. If you are part of the tuition, definitely you will understand that we've done this a number of times before, and this should be a particularly easy question. I think it should be one of the easiest questions in this paper, because finding BOD should be easy, because we know that the angle subtended on the center of the circle is twice the size of the angle subtended on the circumference of the circle by the same chord. So B and D, they make the same angle at A, which is 36. That means they're going to make that twice that angle at the center there. So we can write to say that angle BOD actually is equals to twice the angle DAB, and that will give you 2 times 36. And what do you get? You get 72 degrees. So it took literally less than 15 seconds to get that answer. So no wonder I said it's one of the easiest questions in this paper. The BCD, so we have got BCD. So BCD can also be a pretty easy equation if you understand what we did in class, and you remember very well what we said, that the alternate sides in a cyclic quadrilateral, which is a side which has got 4 points touching the circle, a figure which has got 4 points touching the circle, like B, C, D, A. So the opposites, alternating sides, add up to 180 degrees. So if I get angle DAB, I add angle BCD, I should get 180 degrees, because these are alternating side of a cyclic quadrilateral. So here we have got DAB is equals to 36 degrees plus BCD is equals to 180 degrees. So basically this will mean that BCD is equal to 180 degrees minus 36 degrees, and then this will give us 144 as the answer. So we have got 144 degrees as the answer for BCD. So BCD is 144 degrees. degrees. And then we have CBF. So we have C, which basically says find CBF, which is CBF, and this is very tiny angle somewhere right here. So CBF right there. So now this is a very tricky question, and kind of can take your time to solve such questions. So point of advice, if you have some tricky questions and you think you've solved the other ones, you can just jump to the next and come back to it later, because you don't want to waste time attempting a question probably you won't even get right. So such questions, it's kind of a bit tricky, I must admit, because you go to CBF, which is this one right here, and you want to find this one right here. So we can use the theory that the tangent, the angle made by the tangent and the chord is equal to the angle subtended by the same chord in the alternate or in the opposite segment. So what's basically this means that if we have this angle, if this chord, let's say the chord BC, it's making an angle with the tangent EBF, which is this angle. If this chord was also had subtended an angle in the opposite segment, then these angles would be equal. So the angle CBF will definitely be, so we can say CBF. So now this same BC is equal to DE, which makes this quadrilateral being more of a kite. If you can see, A, B, C, D is kind of a kite because these two sides are equal. So hence the only way that will make sense is if you were to let's say to cut, if you were to cut the this kite in two equal sides. So we're going to grab a ruler and then we're going to place it just right here so that we cut this kite into equal segments or parts there. And then let's say if we do something like that, and we're trying to cut this into equal segments, so there we go, and like that. So now we cut this kite in two equal segments and get rid of the ruler, and then we have this ABC being equal to ADC, and then which means that the chord BC now subtends an angle there, and which basically mean this 36 has been divided into two equal parts. So 36 divided by 2, and you get this angle, this side being 18 degrees, which is 18 degrees, and the other side also having 18 degrees. So which means that this angle right here is equal to the angle subtended by the same chord in the opposite segment, which is 18 degrees. So CBF is equal to 18 degrees. This is the angle for CBF, because this is equal to the segment subtended, the angle subtended in the alternate segment by the chord BC. So this will require a bit of thinking for you, and probably you might have to go through it again and again for you to understand it. But basically, if you understand the theorem that the angle made by the chord and the tangent, it should be equal to the angle made by the same chord in the opposite segment, then that will give you the idea on why this method basically makes sense. So this is how we can solve the circle geometry questions on question 13. So BOD, we said BOD is close to 72 degrees, was one of the easiest, and BCD we said was 144 degrees, and therefore CBF we said it to be 18 degrees.